Next week, NATO will hold its long-planned deterrence exercise, Steadfast Noon.
Putin's recent nuke threats after a series of battlefield setbacks in Ukraine have stoked fears of a catastrophic nuclear war between Russia and the West. And now the NATO Secretary General has said that it will hold its own nuclear exercises. It's a direct and unmistakable message to Putin. Stoltenberg added that cancelling the exercises because of the Ukraine crisis would send a wrong signal to the Kremlin.
Now is the right time to be firm and to be clear that NATO is there to protect and defend all allies. And this is a long-time planned exercise, actually planned before the invasion of Ukraine. It's a routine exercise, and it's an exercise to ensure that our nuclear deterrent remains safe, secure, and effective. I visited this exercise a few years ago. We have been open about the exercise, and I think it would send a very wrong signal if we suddenly now cancelled a routine, long-time planned exercise because of the war in Ukraine. That would be absolutely the wrong signal to send.
The annual exercise, called the Steadfast Noon, will involve 14 NATO member states and reportedly take place around 1,006 kilometers from Russia. The large-scale drill will include nuclear-capable aircraft, but no nuclear bombs. Conventional jets, surveillance and refueling aircraft will also take part in the nuclear deterrence exercise. Every year, during the drill, NATO air forces practice the use of U.S. nuclear bombs based in Europe, with training flights, but without any live weapons. In case a nuclear war breaks out, only 3 of the 30 NATO member states, the United States, United Kingdom and France, have nuclear weapons that could be deployed. Amid Putin's heightened nuclear warmongering, NATO has also doubled the number of warships in the Baltic and North Seas to 30. The NATO chief said he believes that the military strength of the alliance is the best way to prevent further escalation. NATO has asserted that the alliance is closely monitoring Russia's nuclear forces, and remains vigilant.
President Putin's veiled nuclear threats are dangerous and irresponsible. Russia knows that the nuclear war cannot be won and must never be fought. We are closely monitoring Russia's nuclear forces. We have not seen any changes in Russia's posture, but we remain vigilant.
This comes as Russian President Putin has vowed that Russia will use all the means at our disposal to protect Russia and our people.
Подчеркну это еще раз. Всеми имеющимися у нас средствами. А те, кто пытаются шантажировать нас ядерным оружием, должны знать, что роза ветров может развернуться и в их сторону.
Just days ago, U.S. President Joe Biden warned of a nuclear Armageddon. Biden said Putin is not joking when he talks about using tactical nuclear weapons in the Ukraine war. The U.S. president highlighted the nuclear risk, which he said is the worst since the 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis. According to Biden, the threat from Putin was real because the Russian military seemed to be significantly underperforming. Experts say this is one of his administration's most direct acknowledgements of the Russian nuclear threat. Ukrainian President Zelensky also recently demanded that NATO carry out preemptive strikes on Russia to deter the use of nukes. Although later, he claimed he had been misquoted. Amid heightened tensions and calls by Russian propagandists for attacks on NATO member states, Stoltenberg sent a strong warning to Moscow, promising to meet any attack on critical infrastructure in the West with a united and determined response.
NATO is prepared for any threat, any attack against any NATO ally. This was important before the invasion of Ukraine. It has become even more important after. Not least in light of the nuclear rhetoric from President Putin and from Russia.
Stoltenberg's warning comes amid recent leaks in the Nord Stream pipelines, which is allegedly a sabotage attempt. Some Russian warmongers have also called for sabotage of British undersea cables. With tensions at an all-time high, all eyes are now on Putin. Will NATO's nuclear exercise force Putin to exercise restraint, or will it push Putin to cross the nuclear Rubicon?